Da 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 na 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 na. Ba da ba da 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 da. Castlevania is not what this game is. Instead, it's a game made by the same person as Castlevania, Koji Igarashi. What's the game that I'm talking about? Well, obviously it's Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, the latest in the greatest of beat-em-up, Metroidvania, action explorer, Gotham-up action games. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night takes place in a world where alchemists, in order to keep themselves in the job, opened up a portal to hell to let loads of demons through. You take the role of Miriam, who's like a crystal bearer, shard bringer, bearer, magical demon powers, but brought by shards, to try and stop the demons from destroying the world and work out the mystery as to who opened the portal again. Although, don't let me tell you about how the world's gonna end via demons. The game speaks for itself.
Through recondite arts, the alchemists had created shard binders, humans transplanted with crystal that attuned them to demonic power. 10 years have passed. Mankind too soon forgets tragedy. The demons have returned, presaged by a great castle.
Or not.
Oh, but it's just like a good old Castlevania game, with the jumping, the hitting, the map in the corner, and the jumping to hit an ungodly amount of lanterns. Really, all you need now is a whip and you're golden. Oh yes!
I wanna be a cowboy, baby! Ugh.
But all of this is integral to the action explorer genre. As you cut about seeking new secrets and new paths forward, you'll be fighting your way through a constant and overwhelming onslaught of monsters, bats, and cannons. Jesus, it never ends! What is wrong with this boat? As you push forward through each area, you go through the same rhythms, of having just enough direction that you're technically lost, but sooner or later you'll either know what you're looking for, or, more importantly, try not to cry while you make it to the save room so you don't lose all your progress.
Well, that room didn't really fit with the rest. What the? Have you come to make the blood sacrifice? I just came here to poo.
As you're stomping your way through this ever-expanding castle, you'll realise that you're the shard bearer, or bringer, or something, which basically means you can take magical demon shards into your body. Like that. And these unlock all sorts of new abilities, whether it's the monster's own ability, the ability to summon a creature, or some other passive ability that will probably become vital further down the line. These add a whole bunch of versatility to the combat, but also help with exploration. Sometimes when facing down a particularly tough monster, such as a boss, you'll unlock a special ability that might help with your own tower traversal, like the power to double jump, and this is where those familiar hooks of the action explorer sink in. The moment you unlock something new like this, you're accosted by hot flashes of everywhere you've previously seen that you can explore further. Yeah, like that. And suddenly the world opens up once again, and you're not sure if it's the way you're meant to be going, but you know it's a way you can go. So it's bound to lead to something eventually.
Or at least most of the time it does. There are a few moments where the entire game grinds to a halt, as you're lost in this confusion as to where the heck you're actually meant to be going. And then you're just finding yourself searching and going in loops around the maze of the castle, trying to just work out what are you meant to be doing, and you're just well and truly thoroughly lost, which is the worst possible thing for this type of game to present you with. Some examples. After defeating a boss in a certain area, you're presented with some stuff that's to do with photography. Bing, bang, bong, you do the do, you know where to go, you make a photograph. Great, everyone's having a good time, you feel like you've achieved something, but then what do you do with the photograph? who knows, you've spoken to every NPC possible in the little hub area, you've searched every corner, but you just don't know what you're meant to do with it. Turns out that what you're meant to do is actually talk to an obscure NPC who's not in the main hub area, as instead he's in like some far distant corner that's sort of even then like a secret unto itself. Talk to him enough times to promote a unique line of dialogue that then allows you to continue the story and continue exploring. Which is madness, because for the most part he entirely talks about books. So why would you think he'd suddenly start talking about photographs? I don't know. And it's infuriating. There's another one where you defeat another boss. Hooray! You get a special ability. Hooray! However, instead of the special ability being used to present to you the next area, what you're meant to do is go to a very specific location to stand on and do the ability so that you can then access a chest to get a vital item in order to progress through the story and the dungeon, the castle, etc. But you have no way of knowing that you're meant to use it in this specific spot, because for one, it's a location that you've long since explored and witnessed, and it's not even on the map, the little mini map. The chest isn't even on there. How are we meant to know to do this? I don't know, just keep exploring and hopefully you might decide to do it on this one particular location to get this one particular item to then progress. There are several other instances like this that just ruin the entire experience, because just your sense of momentum of exploring, the sense that you can never truly be lost because there's always something to find, trickles away because you are truly lost and the one thing that you're trying to find you can't find because it's not clear.
There is still very much a great sense of exploration as you power through the world, trying to find every nook and cranny, searching for every hidden gem, power-up and weird instance. There's so much to get on with while you're smashing through this castle that you'll always have at least something on the go. From alchemy and cooking to make new weapons and boost your stats, to side quests to kill specific monsters.
Help my neighbour Lisa arrest and kill those murderers dead!
Or find specific food and items. Sure, the world needs saving from some hell demon plot, but I've got to farm this cow to get its delicious milk to make some goddamn cakes.
There's also a wide variety of number of special abilities that you can unlock and learn by searching for all these books, and they're all specific to each weapon, and you can slowly but surely master them to really spice up the combat. But the thing is, it's going to get a little bit messy, because at the end of the day, despite all the spells and the abilities and special items, really the best thing you can do in combat is jump behind the enemy and repeatedly hit them with the basic attack. And this is an issue with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It can easily feel a little too muddy with too many different avenues of exploration in terms of what you're doing to defeat demons. You've got your magical abilities of demon power, you've got your different types of weapon that all kind of act very differently and also have their own unique special movesets which you're never really ever going to touch. And then you also have all the different types of equipment and different types of food and different types of stat boosting items, and it all just kind of gets in the way of itself. Instead of honing in on a single core experience, it decides to just throw everything at you, and very little of it will ever stick with you, and you'll rarely find yourself exploring or experimenting with different avenues, and it just gets in the way. There's just too much going on. Also, the story is kind of naff. You see, it doesn't actually have any moments of true engagement, because it's this large melodramatic affair of demons and alchemists and large grandiose castles, and you've always got to save the world because the world's about to be taken over by demons or something. The issue being is that it has these moments of long cutscenes where characters talk at you over and over again, but they never actually say anything worthwhile. There's never any moment where I'm sat on the edge of my seat wondering what's going to happen. Instead, for the most part, it's just long melodramatic speeches that are sort of getting in the way of exploring the castle. I'm making sure I've not set myself on fire. Cool. Instead, the story just kind of feels like it's just desperately trying to tell you this big dramatic story without ever actually telling you anything. On the other hand, Hollow Knight is a game with very similar gameplay beats. It's an action explorer, you explore a big dungeon, it's an action explorer. At the same time though, Hollow Knight feels like it actually has a story to it that has you on the edge of your seat and you want to explore further, not because you're on that high of exploring, but because you're actually intrigued as to what's happening in the world. And it manages to do this with like 1/100th of the words. Hollow Knight has very few little instances of speech, but instead manages to create an engaging and charming world that is full of enough intrigue and nuance that you're actually interested in it. Instead, in Bloodstained, you just kind of sit there and watch characters talk at one another to try and out-melodramatize each other with the biggest, meatiest quotes they can find, but they never actually say anything. If you wanted to, I could very easily tell you in depth the great story of Hollow Knight, and I played that game a year ago. Bloodstained, I played that game recently, and I don't know what the story was. I was just doing stuff and occasionally characters would talk at length at one another, and I just didn't care.
That's not to say that the world storytelling isn't engaging. Again, the exploration aspect of this game is wonderful and the main thing to come for. Interesting level design such as a moving train or 2 large spiraling towers keep things exciting and weird. Bloodstained manages to constantly maintain those positive feedback loops as you accidentally discover another direction to head down, or to re-explore yet another chunk of the map, but finally manage to get through that one particular secret door. Working your way through the puzzling landscapes of a weird mechanical library, or finding your way through the onslaught of demons to try and make it to that next save location or warp point. It's wonderfully engaging.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is delightfully retro in its presentation, of its effects, in its melodramatic story, and just the way it goes about everything. It'll drag you kicking and screaming all the way back to the late 90s and early 2000s, and you'll get this nice nostalgia blast as you play through it, at least if you ever played like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That said, despite it being this wonderful case of exploration, it does still kind of suffer from just the being a bit drab and the story being boring and just too many elements going on at once. Yes, the exploration part of it is still wonderfully engaging, and if you're into that sort of action explorer gameplay, then it will still be really, really nice and satisfying. And honestly, if you're looking for another hit of that tasty drug, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night will get you covered, because it's still fun to explore this world and engage in it. But at the same time, Hollow Knight is a better game. Play Hollow Knight. Hello, and thank you for watching my video. Yes, I am still in the bathroom, and yes, this is still a horrific fire hazard. I'm surprised I've not burned myself to death yet. Anyway, that was all about Bloodstained and a little bit about Hollow Knight. If you liked it, feel free to let me know. If you didn't like it, feel free to let me know. They killed me inside and one day might be my demise. If you're interested more in my thoughts about Hollow Knight, which is a game which I'd recommend over this one, in the link in the description there will be a link to a review I wrote about Hollow Knight. Hooray! Either way though, if you want to watch more of my stuff, there's a video here that is about board games, which is very not at all related, or a video down here, which is about something else I imagine. Or you can click on my face orb on my face. The tap is leaking, and yeah, thank you and goodbye.